Okay, look at that. We're on time. 11 a.m. And I have um wait. Okay. Hold on. I don't know why the music is playing. Okay, look at that. We're on time. That's why, because the music's playing because I'm listening to my own live stream. Oh my goodness, it's been a while. What is up, you guys? This is Jonathan Concepcion here to almost start the stream. I actually was supposed to post a link to the YouTube channel. Well, I was supposed to post a link to the global news. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started on the live stream. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. We got OneBit Adventure's roadmap. We got OneBit Adventure's suggestions and feedback that was given to me, and I'm keeping users anonymous, and then Rogue Together along with the progress on that. So 1 second, we're just gonna post the link to the global news before we end up going and starting the stream. Okay.
Hello? Hello, everyone? Yep, hello.
All right. Now we're officially going live on YouTube. We are officially live. Let me double check to make sure everything's good. I got the questionnaire up. I got OneBit Adventure up, I think. Okay, I got OneBit Adventure and I got Rogue Together. Okay. So let's go ahead and find the buttons. I do apologize for a little bit of delays. I've just been doing a lot of different things at once, so it's more or less trying to get things together. But for sure, let's see if we can find a button for that and a button for that. There we go. We're here. All right, what is up, guys? This is Jonathan Concepcion, and I am the developer of OneBit Adventure, and I've been working on it for 5 years. There is people here on Discord, as well as those on YouTube, and this is where we're primarily streaming it through YouTube. I've posted a link on the global news just so that we can let people know that are playing the game that the developer is actually, you know, working on the game and still actively doing things. So within, let's see, like I believe last year is when I did something similar in terms of Discord, where I had everyone give their feedback about the game, harsh or not. It's one of those things where it's just trying to figure out what can I do to improve the game, and that is definitely something I am always looking forward to, and seeing what would make it better. Obviously, there's always going to be new dungeons, new professions, but the one thing I always am curious on is hearing what is the bad parts, and that's where we're going to go into today a bit. We're also going to talk about the roadmap after my initial discovery of what is needed to make the game grow more. I did found out a new idea for a new mechanic for OneBit Adventure that will play a big role in making some of these answers to your questions a lot more smoother, I would say. It's hard to say it now because the feature is not done, but it is something that I am going to implement in the future update. As well as that, we'll give you a progress status update on Rogue Together, which Rogue Together is the sequel to OneBit Adventure. And for now, I want to say right now it is very early prototype stage, and essentially the sequel is OneBit Adventure mixed with Rogue. Now, initially the idea was going to be all ASCII format, and then it's just one of those things. It's hard to connect the sequel without showing 1-bit in the game. So this is my take on the newer version. We'll go into more details on that later, but for now we're going to stick with the current spotlight, which is going to be 1-bit Adventure's suggestions and stuff. So, and just so you guys know, it's definitely, I know you guys are still waiting for the Thief profession, second tier, and also the Archer profession. These are things I'm waiting on. It's not something that I can just go ahead and just send it out for the next major update. I am waiting on that, and for those that are not aware, that watch the YouTube videos but don't realize, on Discord I do a lot of different things in terms of managing the game, and that's where a big part of my work goes in, so I do apologize for not uploading as much. I do have another YouTube video that will be coming out, and that's going to be supporting for Rogue Together. So, another big thing I wanted to talk about was going to be the community dungeon, which there's a lot of stuff in the community dungeon that has basically sparked the idea of doing the Depths of the Sea take and making it into a newer idea. So I gathered the community and told them, yeah, go ahead and make a new dungeon. That'll be the next major focus. I wanted to do the tier 2 professions first, but I still felt like there were still more things I need to do fixing wise, because there are some issues that cannot be done. Like, I could do the tier 2 professions, but then it's like, what's next kind of thing. So that's kind of why I want to shift gears to the community dungeon as the next major update. So what's all this about Rogue? So actually, Jeremiah, that is a good question. And I think on YouTube, I did make a video on the most recent one, which is a Rogue Together video. Essentially, Rogue is the original version of roguelikes. And that was basically like how the roguelike genre started. It was like procedural dungeon. It was all text-based. But you would navigate through like dungeons and build your character, and that was sort of like what I wanted to kind of like do a throwback. Rogue isn't popular like as much as it used to be, so when you look up Rogue on Steam, you'll see that it doesn't have as much downloads because it was a really old game, but a lot of people have played it, and it kind of is a good take on trying to reinvent the old game into a new genre, so newer generations will understand the game and fall in love with it again. So that was one thing. So yeah, like I said, if you're typing on Discord's live stream chat, I'll be able to see that, as well as the YouTube chat. I mean, that's the primary focus right now. So all right, so let's go ahead, and this is the response I got from a lot of you guys, and this was something that will be a part of my focus. So this is something I'm looking at for the first time in terms of what I wrote down. This is a forum. I had Discord players on Discord send this out. What is your most favorite aspects of the game? So it's relaxing. It definitely is relaxing. Variety of classes and builds and play styles, like the looting, and I feel like looting is a big part. Progression feels easy, definitely. Simplicity. Oh, who's that? What is that sound? I don't know. That was a weird sound. I don't know if you guys heard that trumpet sound. I have to see if I have oh yeah, I have this one. Do I have it on? Okay, I don't know what mode I have it on. Okay. So simplicity, fell in love with the simple, easy understand gameplay. It definitely goes to show OneBit Adventure is really focused on that. A simple, relaxing game, and I think a lot of people did enjoy that. I think it is what makes it stand out from being too complex. So when you guys do suggest very crazy ideas, I'm just like, okay, let's tone it down just a little, because I'm not gonna make the whole like intelligence aspects trees that end up being a little too overcomplicated. But yes, for sure. Boss fights, I'm surprising, bit surprising, because boss fights are normally not something I like completely like want to say I fine tuned, but I did my best for that. Endless content and grind. There is the equipments that are definitely a big part of the grind for endgame. Simplicity outside. Love the graphics. So yeah, a lot of it seems to be more so exactly what I expect in terms of like the aspects of the game. Gameplay loop is fun. Favorite aspect is the world building around the character you play, setting the mood and run. And I think a lot of the world building is still yet to be finished. Essentially, you know, OneBit Adventure is endless, but also you're supposed to see a world that is corrupted, and over time the tiles are supposed to turn into like dead trees. That's still not in the game, and that is something I want to make it so that it has a little more mood to the game. But yeah, overall aspects of the game feels pretty much spot on with what I feel I want the players to feel. So let's go on to the next tab, which is what is your least favorite aspect of the game? Now, I'm hoping you guys were critical of this, so we'll see. IDK. That's not a good answer, but let's move on to the next one. I would like to see Archer and Thief receive their second professions before any additional content update. Oh my gosh. This is the hard part, okay? I feel like this is where it becomes whether or not I should or shouldn't. And in all honesty, my main struggle right now is there's going to be another thing that is repetitive. So the world progression is repetitive, and that's still something that has not been answered. In regardless if I put Archer and Thief profession first, the world is still repetitive. Therefore, new players that come in won't feel or touch those second tier professions, if that makes sense. So a part of my struggle right now, as of today, I wanted to do Archer and Thief first, but then I am really deciding on this next new feature that should help loosen that repetitive gameplay. So the gameplay loop is slightly too long for casual pickup and play, with some dungeons going on forever but necessary for loot, and campfires occasionally not showing up after the ballpark footsteps counts. That's interesting. So this person is saying gameplay loop is slightly too long for casual pickup. I could understand that, and I think one answer might be campfires. We need to craft campfires. That I feel like that's one of the things. It's like if we do uh like steps every 250 steps, there's quick save. That's the only other thing. So it is kind of debatable on how we can solve this little aspect. It just feels like there's something that I'm missing. Maybe I'm missing something on it, but that it feels like there might be something I'm missing on it not being on the right tone for casual. I could be wrong. So let's go the imbalance between professions. For most classes, one profession heavily outweighs the other, making only one of them viable. Takes mage, for example. Cryomancer is so strong that there's simply no reason to use young mage, young caster, besides niche stuff, or necromancer, soul survivor, and puppeteer, which is even more obvious. I think, yeah, I think overall, like, I wanted a bit of chaos with the second tier professions, but it clearly outweighs the purpose of the first tier professions. So in reality, yes, it definitely is quite the upset, but there are still some viability in the tier 1 professions if you look at the builds on Discord. So yeah, it definitely is going to be something you have to like really nitpick and see, like, oh, I could really use blood barrier and lifetime wounds to maximize my damage output. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, I just I don't know. There's different builds, and with the recent balance update, might actually have changed the whole entire meta completely, because now Archer has more different damage potentials with the new bow upgrades. So yeah, and there you go, Isaiah. There's a personal opinion right there. Do people not like the puppeteer profession? And I think that's just going to be personal preference. The balance update, oh, let's see. I think it would be great if we got a rebalance update on all tiers. So basically, like, an overall, like, fix to tier 1, tier 2 professions and just revising. I think Dairon did a great job of doing the balance update, so maybe I'll talk to him about potentially doing one for the skills. So, yeah. But yeah, if you have any questions, so if you're jumping in right now, currently we're looking at this Google form doc that essentially is people on Discord that submitted their forms about OneBit Adventure. We did this last year. This time we're doing it as a live stream and going over like fresh take. I haven't looked at this whole document, but yeah, these are people on Discord that actually submitted. And we're on the category, what is your least favorite aspect of OneBit Adventure? So, this person said, nothing. Next person. Let's go. Take too long to reach max VIP. I want the skins, but it would cost way too much. Wouldn't mind a bundle to reach max VIP since this game deserves a lot of support. Already bought the ultimate bundle since it's deserved. Lack of other cosmetics. I think adding aura like red glowing effect on Blood Knight during Anarchy would give some more life to the characters. It would also help to see better one square attacks from Mossy Hydra if I can change the aura color. Actually, think aura, so a bit of a discovery. Auras was something I kind of like tried to research and could not find until I started working on Road Together and discovered how to get aura effects without changing every single material. The only problem with shaders is on mobile, it's more or less trying to figure out how well it'll run on the device. So too many shaders will cause any phone to lag, but auras might be a good idea in terms of trying to add to the game. Oh, that's too bright of a green. Let's do that. We'll do light green. So this is something I'll look at and see if I can do. The VIP reaching max level, I think that's the one thing, if The highest tier is easily attainable. That's the end game. But then if I do too much, it's kind of like it really is hard to justify what should be the max barrier for VIP, especially because the max VIP tiers, they used to have like nothing to it. It was mostly just like trying to support the game. Um, but yeah, for sure, auras, that is something I'll look into and see if I can get that in a future update. So, let me answer some questions. So, Fish Main on Discord asks, "How's your hand?" My hand is actually still good, but I still got a little noggin that won't go away on my left hand. And for those of you that don't know, I overworked my hand, and then all of a sudden my left thumb stopped like extending. I couldn't extend it at all. Right now I'm able to extend, but there's still that little noggin that is there. It's like a, I don't know. The doctor said it was like a possible foreign object. So I have to wait till a few more weeks for my next appointment to see if it's something that they got to take out or if it's something that will go away. But as of now, it's still there. It just won't go away. So yeah, I'm able to type fast, but just playing it safe, so I'm not working as much. So I'm just trying to do things that isn't code heavy. So. So, next question, will there be more classes in the future? Um as of now, more or less the last one was the Enigma, and I think for sure it was a lot to like, okay, people said it was easy because I did it so quickly, but at the same time I didn't change much. You know, all the skills that Enigma has were mostly from other classes. So yeah, it was definitely easier to do Enigma. But besides that, I don't have any plans for new classes in OneBit Adventure. I've been mainly focusing on new class ideas for Rogue Together, which is the sequel. But yeah, that is definitely something I'm not looking towards. I'm more looking towards how to make the reviews get better in OneBit Adventure, more so than classes, because adding classes is not, it's still not solving the repetition problem, which I'm surprised it hasn't been written down about the overworld. But yeah. So let's see. Lore for OneBit is there, but it is going to be expanded in the summer of this year. So the community dungeon update is a big dungeon update, and a part of that is, well, once I get that out, then I'll focus on the tier 2 professions, and then I'll focus on the lore update. I'm calling it the story update. That is essentially going to revamp the story, because right now there's some code that I messed up on, and some of you might have encountered a bug where when you talk to, I forgot which character, baby wizard eggplant, where it like respawns and you can keep talking to her or something like that. It's some weird bug, but overall the whole thing needs to get revamped. So expect that in the summer. So let's move on to, yeah, there's lore in OneBit. People are surprised there's lore. It's there. It's surrounding the Eternal Wraith, as well as Levatus and Silver the Cat. So and I wanted to do a video about the story of OneBit Adventure, but it really is something I want to wait till like after I actually do a story update. So yeah, good to know. All right, so going back to the questions on the forum. Least favorite aspect of the game. Some mechanics are still unclear. I think a big part of this is lack of tutorials. It just is something I need to work on for sure. This is something that is very much, I have a hard time grasping what tutorials will be like essential to the game, what should the player discover on their own, and so on. Wait, pay to win is there's no pay to win like aspects in OneBit Adventure. I mean, there used to be like upgrades for diamonds, like your equipment upgrades, but as of now there is none. And if you wanted to completely like get rid of the quick save from VIP, there's also hardcore mode. And hardcore mode you can get VIP XP. So there currently the game is like the most very bare minimum terminology of pay to win, especially because there's nothing that helps you progress by spending money. There's no way to game the leaderboards that way. So Zan's gonna bother me about the bard. Yeah, that's definitely. He's not here right now, so don't ping him, okay? Don't ping him. All right, going on. Due to how difficult and or time consuming it is to get enough coins early on in the game, at least as a new player, it's hard to actually select more unique skills from class professions and know what you like or not without spending most of the coins you collected. This is a good point. I think I can agree somewhat to early game coin collection. Late game coin collection is just insane as soon as you find a rustic chest plate. So I might have an idea in terms of early game coin collection, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, there's way too few NPC. Yes, just no normal guy. Yeah, it definitely is part of the story update that I will add more NPCs. I think as of now there's might be like 15, but most of them have like one-liners, so it's not too much. Still waiting to add Bard. Okay. Isaac. No. Still waiting. You guys want more classes, but we still have more issues to figure out before we can do any more classes to OneBit. So, yeah, just so you know. The monotone / color, the variety of class with weapons. I can't remember if okay, so I did post this form before the color update. So I'm hopefully the color update is actually going to be beneficial in terms of the default color and the store page. So that's just the variety of class with weapons might just be the definition of add more content, you know, like so it is kind of like something that grows over time. So yeah, bigger shop and different items. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like content, more content. Like that's it's a part of the game's cycle of updates. So, but I still want to focus on the major things that does affect the game. There it is. Finally, the first one that says it. The map repeats very quickly, making it look too samey. So one of the major things is, and I'm going to say what I initially wanted to let you guys know on the idea that I want to try to get the maps to feel different. So man, it's gonna be hard to explain without showing you. Essentially a fork on the road. So in OneBit Adventure, everything's linear in the overworld. Like you're just going straight up and you see the same chunks, but there's no variety in terms of how you feel when you play. So a fork on the road is likely my idea. So instead of expeditions, it would be forks on the road. And fork on the road is you have the left side and the right side. The left side has more enemies, but you get more XP. The right side has less enemies, but it has more coins. So when you move around, it might actually be easier to demonstrate if I load up the game on here. So we already know, like, going upwards is, you know, just gonna be endless, but eventually you see the same chunks. It would feel different if, for an example, let's say for an example, the the next dungeon appears, which is a fork on the road, right? And this fork on the road will have one sign in the middle. Let's see if it appears. So imagine a fork on the road. Instead of that portal, it would be a sign where it would point left or right, and left or right, it'll split down the middle. Like the whole entire middle will be divided. So you choose one path where there's a lot more enemies, or one path with less enemies but more coins. This is kind of like to replace the expedition, but also make the world feel like it's changing based off what you select. So you kind of get it, right? And the further you go, the more it splits, kind of thing. So that's what I'm thinking right now. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So it is going to make it more roguelike in terms of you deciding your path, but it's still endless. It's still the endless scroller that you play with OneBit, except it feels different. So yeah. So that is going to be the new feature idea, and I'm hoping I can do it with the community dungeon update and make that feel like it changes the map to be a lot better. So, and it's gonna be a new mechanic, so the way the camera shifts left and right is gonna be a little bit different. We'll have to mess around with it. Yeah, diagonal pathing. But it's gonna feel different though. That's the point, right? We want the game to feel different. In terms of when you are exploring and going further, that's where we break that repetition. So that's my idea. I'm hoping it goes through, all goes well, and we don't run into major bugs. But that's besides the point. That's part of the game development. So, still, let's go on. Oh, Blood, if you're here, you can definitely fetch me ideas in the DMs, and I'll commission you for it, for the whole fork in the road idea. It will likely need new sprites, and we're only dealing with the overworld. So, if you hear me on that one.
Noted.
So, yeah, definitely we'll talk more in DMs, but it's for sure something I want to try to work on. Alright, moving back. So, we're going back into the least aspect of the games. We got a few more. So still the weakness of certain boss weapons compared to other normal weapons. Smasher, Beholder, Wand. Oh, how you can only get extra coin using Rustic Seed. Oh, okay, so this was one thing, and I think it was what was it? I think okay, no, John Doe didn't talk about this. John Doe was talking about merging ruins to make them stronger. This was an idea. Another idea was for another dungeon to be able to break down certain weapons, and you would get a gem, sort of like a ruin, except you now have a ruin of plus 11 coins. So you can break down a rustic chest plate and add it to something else. So it is working like the Forger, except you're creating your own ruins based off equipment you have. You can't do, like, you can't break down this sword and get 10,000 damage. No, it will tell you what stats you can choose to break down, but this would add more dynamic to the ruin progress, if that makes sense. So, definitely something I want to touch on is this is not something that will happen right away. It is a future idea to make weapons be more useful in terms of like splitting them off and breaking them down. So we'll see how that goes. That one's a little bit more too crazy, but yes, that is something I want to decide in the future. So least favorite aspect of the game is how absurdly long it can take to level up your character, as it can take weeks of non-stop playing to level up prestige and reach high step counts. This makes the game repetitive and mundane, having to repeat the same process over and over. This one I kind of get, but it's also like very much dependent on the player. Any hardcore player of OneBit Adventure will say they'll prestige 5 in a week. Any casual player will say that it takes months, a month to even get to Prestige 1. There you go, Capar. Perfect. Your Capar in Discord chat just said it perfectly. I got Prestige 5 in 2 days. So yeah. This comment is very likely just the idea that, oh my goodness, I keep hitting my printer. I need to move my printer somewhere. So yes, it is very much a difference between hardcore and casual. And not to say that casual players are not progressing fast enough. It's just the time of day that a person has is limited, and you really can't fault anyone for saying like you don't have enough time to play it, so therefore you don't deserve like extra bonus XP. It's not that. But there are solutions. I think the best solution would be Forks on the Road, giving more opportunities to focus only on XP grind versus taking the challenge. Yeah, there's different things about it. So I'm not going to say for sure this is something that would highly affect everyone, but for sure. And let me know what you think about the whole aspect of level up. Is it something for you to, like, for an example, reach level 50? How long is it too long? There are different like XPs as well as double XP, and that's the only one that's progressively progressively a lot, but then at the same time you get diamonds through the game in other means. So yeah, sorry about the dog. Yoshi is my dog. He was crying, but my wife's taking him outside, so yeah. And my coffee's cold. Oh my goodness, let me finish this coffee real quick. Sorry. Mm. Mm-mm. Pac-Man, what do you mean, would keep it behind level 50 to not overload fresh gameplay for players? Probably, the breakdown of weapons and stuff. Oh, okay, yeah. That definitely is a late game thing. It's not going to be early game. Have it where there's a rare chance for spawning a diamond ore in the mines, but the further you go, the chances increase. Yeah, I could see diamond ore being in the mines. In terms of like giving something more value into the caves, yeah. Yoshi cameo. Yeah, no, Yoshi is he's a cute grumpy dog. Yeah, and that's the thing, Isaiah. So you don't use double XP because it feels like cheating, or at least on hardcore. Yeah, hardcore shouldn't have double XP. That's that's not intended. It's not intended. Well, I think I intended it before because you use your own diamonds in hardcore. But then I didn't realize that classic, the main menu, you can actually use double XP. So yeah, it's something I had to fix. Okay. Okay. When are you getting into the late game? I'm fairly new to the game. I mean, late game is really the equipment, finding out your right equipment set, right build set before you get into the late game. But it's the last thing was the whole breakdown of equipments. But that's just an idea at this moment, not really finalized or not really doing it off the back. So, oh yeah. All right, we'll go on to the next question, which is still least favorite aspect of the game. By a certain point, it just becomes a grind and nothing new, and little special encounters. I think more elite enemies and Forks on the Road will definitely suit this. That's just pretty much it. The fact that there's no lore. So lore, we are going to be working on a story update sometime in the summer, and that is going to be what will change everything about the story, for sure. All right, let me answer some more questions. What about having special bosses for each classes, but only spawns for that class, and only and if you defeat it, you can get one more skill slot. The skill slot is so hard to like judge. Oh my gosh, I think of skill slots as it needs to be limited. So the moment you add more, it's the more it's gonna be like I don't need uh concentration, or I don't need certain skills that don't benefit my build, sort of thing. So that's why 5 just felt like a right number. Yeah. I don't have a new dragon boss update coming. No. Yeah. Okay. And let's go on to the last one of least favorite aspect, repetition. Again, that's the overworld. We already talked about the fork on the road and doing things to make the overworld feel like it's different and you are choosing your path instead of just scrolling up vertically. So we've got done with that. Whew, that was a long one. Let's go on to the next one, which is, if it were completely up to you, what single thing in the game would you change and how? Add new characters. Still not something that is 100%. We still have issues with repetition, and I'm gonna end up focusing on that more. But yeah, add new character classes is something that's always gonna be, and add new tier professions is always gonna be something that's like gonna happen. Well, it's gonna always be something that's requested, not guaranteed to happen, especially because we're gonna be focusing on the sequel as well. And we'll talk more about the sequel in a bit. Can't think of anything. Keep up the updates. That's always good. Ruins are so rare and weapons are so plentiful that upgrading anything, even just at the blacksmith without ruins, feels crazy. I've only done it once before ever prestiging, and it gave me an edge when things got hard. And I kept using the weapon for a while, but eventually regular drops are conceded. And you just stop upgrading with finite non-recoverable resources. Maybe a first one's free upgrade or not too rare droppable object that lets you cash in and respec with the blacksmith, or something huge rebalance that turns gears into part of an RPG instead of disposable trinkets. I get it. Yeah, I think that a part of this is because of the exponential factor of stats. Um, but if we're talking about ruins being rare, I think if we can break down break down equipment so that they become ruins, it would be a good solution for that. So we'll leave it as green. It's something I'll come back to in a future update. Oh, I'm like wondering why did I scale it so much, because now it's like, yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna read a couple more questions before I go back into chat, since I know a lot of you guys are chatting, but that's good and all. So just so you know, I'm gonna be reading the form for a bit. Death from self damage. Oh yeah, this one's a we had the discussion in Discord, but I've had issues with this feature. Yeah, this was being able to die from your old attacks isn't really liking. I agree with Youngcaster being killed by his own spell, since it's a matter of aiming. However, Pyromancer, I believe, is more fitting. I think skills cannot be used if you don't have enough HP to use them, similar to how mana cannot be used. Skills cannot be used. Oh yeah, I think I remember mentioning to someone. Um, Oh, skills can be used but cannot kill you, offering a possible ease of gameplay for Berserker builds. One of the things I wanted to answer was whether or not self damage should just not inflict damage if your HP is like, for an example, if you do self damage, instead of you actually dying, you'll just be left with 1 HP. I forgot, who did I tell? I told someone to see if there was any exploit in self-damage in terms of what if I end up taking too much damage on my own that I can keep spamming like this ability, because now it's like I don't know how to describe it. Oh my gosh, where is it? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So if I use Fireball, I can keep using it, right? And if I'm about to die because of Fireball, right? Instead of dying like this, my HP should stay at 1, is essentially what I was trying to see if there's an exploit too. Because if self-damage will leave your HP at 1, then I'm fine with changing that update so that when it becomes self-damage, instead of dying from your own skill, you would get dropped to 1, or just say not enough HP. I think not enough HP would probably be best. Yeah. We'll leave this as a priority, so we'll tone it up on the green, so that way we know that's one that I will focus on fixing for sure. So where can you find the question answer to the future questionnaire? Actually on Discord. If don't even have a Discord link, do I? Ooh, do we have a Discord link? We need a Discord link. Oh, just switched it around. Yeah, create an invite. We'll just create a server invite that will last never. Never expire. And then, oh wait, I'm on the other Discord. All right, 1 second. I'll do it on this. If someone can grab a link. Let's see. Okay. There's the Discord link. So in the future, what I'll do is it's always around this time of year that I'll post a Google form in the announcements and go over sort of like an overview of the game just so I can make it better. So there's the link for anyone that wants to join the Discord. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a chat to talk about the game, give feedback, report bugs, as well as community sprites. So if you are into pixel art, you can submit sprites there. So let's see. Let me read more questions. Can we change the color of necro spawn zombies so they are more distinguishable like pets? I think that would be a good idea, actually. I could reuse the button for pets and have them have different colors. That is potential for that. That is a great idea, Pac-Man, because enemies and allies, you really can't, like, dissect who is who. Look at Jub over here. What up, Jub? Jub is here. He is the artist. You can thank him for all the amazing tier 2 professions. He's on the YouTube chat. And he has been killing it. He's been working so hard on Rogue Together as well as doing sprites for that. So I definitely appreciate everything he's done for the game. Definitely thank Jub for the amazing animations. Let me go ahead and type that down from Pac-Man. What is it? Ability to change color of zombies. Similar, oh my gosh, to pets. Okay. I'll make that green. Let's see. So that way we know that's something I'll be focusing on. That one shouldn't be too hard, so expect that to be sooner rather than later. Add pets. Oh, let me read this next one. Add pets you may find along the path, and you can only equip one pet at a time, and some pets are better damage dealing. I don't want pets to be a major part of your damage output. Like, oh, you need this specific bear in order to maximize your damage potential in this build. So I highly avoid that. So so anything that's related to that, it's definitely not. I don't mind doing like pets you can find and you collect along the way, but not something where it comes to building a skill tree for a pet or anything too fancy. So so Shrimp, you asked earlier that you think dungeons should have a bit more should spawn more often to avoid repetition. You had to scroll 2K steps without seeing a dungeon? I believe. Hold on. I don't think that's. Wait, what is the limit for that? Hold on. Alright, we're going into the coding world. Sorry, guys. I want to answer your question right away and see if the next cave that spawns, what is the max level for it? No, it should be 600 right there. Wait. Yeah. So the next cave is essentially next dungeon. It adds between 2 to 400 plus a scale, but it does clamp it to 600. It shouldn't be more than 600. That is a problem if it is. Unless it's just an exaggeration, but that should be 600, should be the max. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other possibility. Maybe it's possible that you quick save when a dungeon appeared off screen. That's also a potential too. But 600 is the limit. But when it does spawn off screen, I do make the game register that this dungeon spawned off screen, so it makes it spawn in front of you the next time you play. So definitely not something that's intended, but 600, even with 600 right now, it still gets the repetition report. So let's do one last question. Pac-Man, another easy to implement one. Can you show how many items you have of a type when you could craft or buy them? I think this was actually reported as a feature to add. Now I'm trying to think. All right, let's open it. Okay, we're gonna do one more deep dive before we go into before we go into the whole aspect of what's on the Google form. So let's go ahead and bring out the stew pot, which is right here. It spawned off screen, so we'll do that. So the item, oh yeah. Okay, I think I know what you mean. So right on the bottom, what is it? Not the craft text. And do apologize, it's not in English because I was working on translation stuff, so that's why it's not in English. So let's see. So you're probably talking about this, where instead of it just saying 1, it'll say 1, but you can craft 5 or whatever amount. That is the limit. You know, like if you had enough ingredients for 5 potions, you could just be, you know, I don't know. There's something that we can do to make it better, but again, that's probably what I'm guessing you're thinking about. I think I already have this written down as a feature to do. So if you have a overflow like 100 pears, 100 apples, 100 this, you can do like 50 potions. Then it'll say 50, but you're crafting one at a time. So yeah, that is possible to be a feature. Yes, we're doing community questions, but as well as looking at the forum that people have submitted from Discord. So, yes. Oh, how many of the aimed recipe or buyable you already have in your inventory? But that is also great. I mean, the recipe already shows how much in your inventory. I could be, I could be misreading it. But let me know if I am. Like it shows you have 0 in your inventory versus the recipe having 3, or yeah. Yeah, I might be misreading it. Maybe. I do apologize if I am misreading it. Let me go on to the next set of questions. For what single thing you would want to change or and how. So, I would add lower tier bosses spawning groups that have 50% of normal bosses. They would spawn in specific areas and make it so you have to deal with multiple types of attacks. Ah, that's kind of like tiering main bosses to be smaller bosses. It kind of is. I don't want to say it's like kind of crazy, but like kind of weird. Because when you see a boss, you think automatically it's a big boss. I would think more like more elites or more mini bosses, but not necessarily taking bosses and adding lower tier. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. Yeah. This one might be 50-50 on that. As a big fan, ARPG, I would love to see 3 things that I think would fit the game perfectly. Accessories. Oh no, I can't do accessories. I already fixed the game. No, there was accessory idea for extra buffs, I think, but it's still. I like the perfect setup. Like it really is kind of hard to do. Um, we have the perfect setup. The pets go here, so it's like, I don't know. To me, it's like adding a new a new accessory is just gonna be ruining our perfect setup. Like, to me right now, it feels perfect in terms of accessories, only because of the limited space. So adding a ring slot means that we have to shift everything down, and then we end up having to do things differently visually. I don't know. That's personal for me. Okay, let's try to see if I can read it, Pac-Man. While crafting / buying, I questioned myself if I need anti-poison or anti-death, etc. If the craft or shop menu could show if / how many I already have. Oh! That's what you meant. Oh my goodness. Why didn't you say that? Oh my goodness. Okay. I got you. Oh, my brother cooking. Pure cooking's here. This is my brother, Christian Concepcion. If you don't know, by the way, I'm Jonathan Concepcion, my brother, Christian Concepcion. Say hi to him. He loves yeeting, which is a wrestling term. But yes, he's definitely here. What is up? He is the artist of many things. He did a couple of sprites for OneBit Adventure, but he does a lot of food art, and definitely he does kick streaming. So if you want to check him out, kick.com/pure cooking, just like how you see it in the YouTube chat. So you might see me in his live stream from time to time. So just so you know. Okay, let me talk about what you just said, because I think I already thought of this idea. But again, this is something that I think you would be interested. So imagine this UI, except it shows how much you already have just by a single like number. So like see, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky. Maybe I'll put it on the right side just to say the number amount. So it would be like I don't think I could click it on here. I can't click it on here. But you get what I'm saying. So if you put a number right here, that'll tell you how many you have in your inventory. But the only difference is it doesn't show it here, so it's kind of like, or maybe, yeah. See, if you have it in your inventory right here, that's tricky. Okay, I think I get it. If the shop or craft menu could show if and how many I have of it, yes, it definitely would be nice to show. So, so instead of showing how many you can craft, that would be confusing putting it here. But putting it here will show how many you already own, or even right here, showing how many you own. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, let me go ahead and write that down so I don't forget. Pac-Man coming in with the next suggestion. Adding a way to see your inventory amount for the stew pot recipe on the drop down menu. Okay, let's go ahead, highlight that. Is it possible to add NPC updates that can help us fight enemies and can join in your adventure? There is the bandit, but he only appears in the desert dungeon. I would like to experiment more, and A-star pathfinding is going to be something I have to work on before I can do that. If you don't know A-star pathfinding, it is a smart way for enemies to go to a location. Right now, OneBit Adventure does not have that, and Rogue Together does. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that later. Alright. I went, touched a little bit on this, which was the accessory slots. It's just not something that's plausible for me. I'm just really touchy about how it's looking right now. So I want to keep it just the helmet, chest plate, weapon, and pet. That's just what it is right now. Let's see. The stat that let's see. Yeah, this is more towards that accessory. Shared stash that only Prestige 5 level 110 can access. So similar to like a shared collection of inventory stash. I think that's I think it's fine. I think that's more of a VIP status, to be honest. I mean, it's not something that you would normally do, because by the time you're Prestige 5, level 110, you already got whatever you need for that specific class. I would think, yeah, this is one thing I think I've told people in the past, like, I don't want to do it. It's, to be honest, that's the only thing is, like, yeah, I'm not too big into that. Boots, we're not going to do boots in OneBit. The game would be perfect for me. I'm sorry, whoever you are, I'm sorry, I cannot. I want to, but I feel like the current state of OneBit Adventure is not something that I'm going to do into that. Rogue Together is a different story, though. Excuse me. I'm drinking a little bit of water. It's been a while since I talked this much. All right, make art consistent. That's something I have to. It is really much crazy now. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 colors, and now it's gone up to like 5 different colors in some sets. Yeah, this is the hard part. I mean, right now it's kind of set in stone, but. We'll see. We'll see. Add an end to the game. Something like a final boss, final battle with the Wraith. Just to give the players something to try and achieve. After that, there should be an option to use the orb to reset the world back to the start. Like Prestige, but without benefits, so you can replay the story. So a big part of this is story update is going to have an end, but you can continue after you reach the end. So that is a spoiler. Story mode will have an ending. I don't know exactly what steps right now, but at a certain point you'll be able to defeat the final boss and then something happens, but you can still continue the steps for rankings. It's just that story portion will end. So that's already happening. I mean, that's a great suggestion, I mean, for that, but that is definitely, that will happen. Probably add in a training or sandbox mode that lets players try out different builds for free, but they cannot collect coins, diamonds, or achievements from this mode. I think I want to experiment something like that. with I don't know if some people have heard, I added a secret game mode called Her. It's a hitless endless runner that Caphar made during his live stream, and he basically I popped into his live stream, and Caphar's in the chat, so he knows more about it than me. But what ended up happening was I wanted to jump in the live stream and have something in the background, and what ended up happening was I found out about Her. I was like, Her? What's this Her mode? Hitless endless run where basically you're don't take damage at all. If you take damage, you fail the run. And that was the idea. Let me see if I have my settings correct. Okay, I do have my settings correct. So it could be similar. Instead of making a specific mode, make it a secret hold on, let me put English. Make it a secret mode where you would type in training, and then it'll say, okay, training enabled, and anything you do will be in training mode. So if we go to Her, it'll say hitless endless run is set to true. So you would need to start a new adventure. You can't resume an adventure, but like I said, secret mode. It was added in the last update. You'll see hitless endless run. So the goal of this run is to not get hit. Being a warrior, you're basically doomed from the start because you can't melee without getting hit. So like, and then as soon as you get hit, let's say for example, boom, and you end your run. You're still playing, but it's a secret mode because it's for those that want the challenge. Do this on a live stream, you know, try to see how far you can go, but it doesn't affect your gameplay per se. You get what I'm saying. But we could do a training mode where that ends up being a secret promo. You enter that game mode and it won't affect your classic, but we can lock out achievements based off that and any other features that we need to just by making a secret mode. It's less UI work for me, so it's definitely something that I I love when it's like less UI work. It's like, oh my gosh, I could do this. So yeah, that would be nice to do a secret mode as a secret game mode. We'll see. That's definitely something on the extra side of things to work on, but we'll see. Let's go on. End of story should be the no Caphar. No, stop. We're not doing the 2 billion integer limit as a step goal for the game. No, you really don't want anyone to reach the end. All right, Gamars. By the way, for those, you're okay. You're talking about the unofficial ways to play. Got it. Yeah, definitely. If you go on Discord, join the Discord link, you'll get so much more information on there. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy how big it's gotten. All right, moving on. What single thing in the game would you change and how? More skills to hold and variety of build in one class. It's kind of in the lines of adding more skills and more content for the class. It's not 100% something that there's just, like I said, so many features that we've got to work on and fix before we can go on to that. Make an alternate way to get extra coin plus. I think we already talked about the ruin thing, so we don't have to greenlit this for sure. I would make leveling slightly faster. Another question about leveling. Understand leveling is too fast would make people's immersions in the game not last as long. However, I feel that leveling your character should be slightly faster. Oh, that's what it is. Maybe it's because you reach the 40% pretty slowly because you have to reach, I forgot how many steps before you hit that 40% barrier. Yeah. And a new skin and banner to prove your achievement of prestige. Yeah, I guess a prestige banner or skin would be nice. I think I was supposed to do a gold skin thing, but yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah. I is my oldest brother. Say hi to I. He's also a Kick streamer. If you go to kick.com/it's I, you actually find him, and he streams a lot, as well as my brothers are streamers. Yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, chilling. Still working on this list, so we got a lot to do. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I would increase the variety of abilities and build to be made, as it is one of the funnest aspects. It is one of the funnest, but also OneBit Adventure being the first game, it kind of is hard because of the way it's programmed. So definitely not something on the table in terms of working on it, especially because the foundation is still pretty shaky. The profession system, I would make it so that level 5 profession is as strong as 15. I think we talked about balancing. That's definitely something I'll have Dairon look at. Resource system is not used enough, except hardcore minerals are useless for examples. Could be great to have a system like Rift in Diablo with ladder. In my opinion, it would be great to have more kind of equipment. All right, not more kind of equipment, but Rift in Diablo is really an end game thing. A little bit familiar with Diablo. It's been a while since I played Diablo 3, but again, it is something that I have to take a look at for end game. But yeah. A sad NPC/debuff upon delivery gain a lot XP. I think the fork on the road is just gonna be perfect though. No, for sure. Fork on the road is like the ultimate option of I want more XP, so I'll grab the more XP route. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be it though. All right. Is there any other questions you guys have that you have seen in the game that you really want to change that I haven't spoken about? Let me know in the comments. In the chat, like I'm doing a YouTube video. But yes, if you're watching this video on YouTube after it's done live streaming, let me know in the comments. That's fine. Yes. What if the XP in the last 80 to 100 levels was diminished and moved to 110 instead? Diminished? I mean, you mean like scale it so that it's easier? Like moving that level scaling? Or just completely like they level up to 80, they go to 100? That would be... Oh, let me read your suggestion, Pac-Man, since you're on fire lately. I'm not putting pressure on you, okay, Pac-Man? The Smith could have a exclamation, question mark, speech bubble, and upon talking, ask you to bring a letter or box to an NPC who will be 1k steps away, or so. When opening yourself, gain awesome gear. I think that's part of the story update. That's gonna be like more fetch quests, but other things. So yeah, definitely something that will be planned. Yeah, mini quests. Basically mini quests, yeah. It takes less time to reach 100, but harder to get to 110, because people are complaining about prestige. No wine buff? There is the dancing juice, okay? You don't know about that dancing juice, okay? Not advocating alcohol. Just saying it just makes you dance, okay? Alright. Let's move on to the optional question. If you are no longer playing the game, why and what would make you play again? So this is a question I have for a lot of you guys. It's like, I know I know as a gamer, I've played games for hundreds of hours, and then I stopped playing it because either life or because I move on to something new. And it's understandable that, you know, people that play OneBit Adventure and fell in love with it will eventually move on due to so-and-so. And if it is something about the game, then I want to know. But if it's something like, well, you know, I've done all there is, then that's fair. You know, like you've done what you wanted, you got the enjoyment, and you move on to another game. That's not something that I want to look at. I'm looking more towards, well, this specific feature stopped me from playing the game. So if you have any of that, let me know, and I will read what this person has to say. I play a lot when a big patch that interests me comes out. I was very active after Necro's second profession came out. And with the balance update, I have a lot to farm on my wizard. I will have more time now that I am mellowed out spot at my job. So yeah, definitely big patch updates. I think the balance update, I seen more activity. It is something that is, I think it's more game changing in terms of equipments that you're getting than, yeah, it brings you back. But yeah, that's not to say like that, but like what is it that OneBit is like hitting a brick wall and be like, oh man, I want to enjoy the game, but I can't play it because so and so. So we'll see if we get any answers to that. As above, a shorter or more casual play mode / time commitment, but it still needs to be a roguelike with stakes, so I don't know what that looks like without watering down this great thing you've got. I would also play it more often if offline play got synced back later instead of just letting me play and then having stats rolled back. That shouldn't happen. Yeah, offline play usually syncs with the server. Yeah, I need to double check that. We'll double check that. We'll have to double check that. For sure, I do not want something like that happening. But I think the aspect of the casual mode was going to be the fork on the road. Game became too easy, and I didn't want to wait till late game because of it. Okay, so again, fork on the road. I think that's going to be the answer to more challenging, more reward. So yeah, for sure, that's something we have to focus on. I am no longer playing the game due to real life and another game. After getting a few Prestige 5, there really was no objective, and I was playing it for the sake of playing it. If there was lore or an objective, I would 100% play. As for the railroading play style I mentioned earlier, I think it would be nice if classes could get balanced a tad. So, okay. Oh, that's the one talking about the story mode. Okay, with the end game. Okay. So definitely story mode. Yeah, I'll worship the fork. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a fork sprite. If you get a fork sprite in Discord's community community sprites, I'll definitely add that fork in the game. It seems to me that I love saying that. A fork on the road. Let's go ahead to the next one. Mixing theme for each object, more variety for each class to make me want to do a run again. I don't know about mixing themes for each object. It really is. I want to avoid any epilepsy events. So by mixing, besides inverted theme, like you guys know, inverted theme is a joke, right? You don't have to use it, you know, like that's just April, okay? But outside of that, I don't want any mix up of different objects and themes causing people to complain about. So, yeah, that's definitely one I'm not too fond upon. Upon getting all characters to max level and getting past the highest prestige, the only thing left to do is to go as far as you possibly can, making the game get more and more boring as the progression afterwards becomes repetitive and linear. Yes. I agree. Hitting max level, highest prestige, what to do next is like the end game. And although the fork on the road is more so helping early to mid game, end game needs something like Rift, where you're constantly doing something that will get you stronger or resources to gather. It just depends. I think endgame is going to be a big portion of later on figuring out. But for sure, yeah, fork is not helping with this issue. No, definitely not. Yeah, endgame does, like, fork on the road makes it so that your adventures are unique, but it's not going to solve end game goal, because at the end of the day, it's just like, I've reached the max level of everything. What now? You know, sort of thing. So, yeah, we'll have to revise this. Yeah. All right. Too repetitive, some diversity could be interesting. Again, the fork on the road is going to be the main feature that will help that. We can always say more dungeons help diversify, but with more dungeons is spread out between levels, so you're not always going to be experiencing every dungeon until you're later in the game. So again, that's part of content building, is adding more. So all right, whew. Let me get a little breather. So let's do a little icebreaker. You guys are doing good. Right now it's 12:21 p.m. Um, uh, I have a lot of things planned, and I think I wish I had like, um, I wish I had a second brain that can just code for me. That would be nice. But again, I gotta manage everything. So offhand, this live stream is a refresher, because that means I'm not coding as much, but it also means I get to gather my thoughts. So quality of suggestion in the handbook, sort of different effects slash weapons alphabetically A to Z. Yeah, I know. No, I'm sorry I didn't do that. uh so I was working on, I think it was 2 updates ago. I was working on the sorting filter. No, it was, yeah, 2 updates ago. I was working on sorting filters for the guide, and for some reason I was like, yes, I got A to Z for the status effects. And then I was like, uh oh no, I didn't even do A to Z for these. Yeah, see, yeah, it's not A to Z, so only status effects. And then I just gave up after that, because coding it was a lot trickier because I had to find the variables. But yeah. Add milk? Oh my goodness, you guys want milk in a game, don't you? We'll add milk and it'll cure any, uh, you want it to remove all status effects? That would be nice. So you got anarchy at 300%, and like you want to drink milk, so you drink milk, it fully heals you, but it gets rid of anarchy. Yeah. If someone makes a Sprite, that would be awesome. You're like, what's the point of milk? Well, you wanted milk. I gave you milk. It's not the best feature in the game, but it's milk. I can't add beer. Guys, Google Play told me I can't add alcohol. There's dancing juice, but that's not beer. Yeah, someone make a... If you're on Discord and you're an artist... Oh, you don't have to be an artist. It's just pixel art, you know? Just pixel art, a glass of milk for me. And I'll add it. Next update, guaranteed. So yeah, a part of organizing A to Z, it really is looking at the code. And if I look at the code, it's a mess. And that's why I have not done it. This took hours to do. This will probably take hours. And this will probably take hours to figure out. So, yeah, definitely. I haven't thought of an impossible boss, because the moment I make an impossible boss, people will report it as a bug. So I want to avoid that. The only closest thing is being a face-to-face with Fire Dragon, which essentially has stone ability, which prevents damage, but that's the only thing. Now we're moving on to Rogue Together, the sequel to OneBit Adventure, which will have multiplayer. So this is more in line of what are some things you would like to see in Rogue Together. Now, for those of you that don't know, Rogue Together is the sequel to OneBit Adventure. It is still early prototype, and by early prototype, I mean this is literally right now the game as it is right now. 4 players in a dungeon. You basically are working together. Everything's turn-based, but you see how the people on the left are moving? They are not supposed to make that move, but it's still a little buggy. But essentially, they can go in the dungeon and fight enemies. I could go over here to my side and fight other enemies, and their turns won't affect mine. But the moment we all fight one enemy, they will all start to take their turns. So, Rogue Together. This is the sequel to OneBit Adventure. And if you haven't, please go to roguetogether.com. I'll show you right now. roguetogether.com. And join the newsletter join Kickstarter newsletter. I want as much email address as possible so I can know how many people are interested in this game. So, the knight is currently the first class knight. We also have the wizard class, and I want to say I have the file for it. Concept, yes. So, I need to mention this because the next part of this forum is OneBit Adventure sequel. So, this is all created by Jub, amazing artists. Tell you again, Jub helped make a lot of the second tier animation professions, and also the entrances for the dungeons. So, if you want more amazing artwork from Jub, yeah, we need to get a Kickstarter so that we can get Jub the money so that he can work on more sprites, as well as the music artist for the music producer, Scotty Rich, who has made a lot of music for OneBit Adventure recently. He is going to be part of this project. Yes, isn't it amazing? Give Jub all the money. I will give Jub all the money. You know what? You guys, if you want to see this game come to life, we need as much support as possible on Kickstarter. So currently the goal for Kickstarter is 50,000, and that's going to be going towards like the artwork, the music, promotion, and anything else that we need. But yeah, concept leaked. I'm sorry, Jub. Don't. I leaked the concept. Yes, I need to get as much people to go to the roguetogether.com and share the link, share the videos on YouTube, try to get as much people hyped about this as possible, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a 4-player OneBit Adventure game, the sequel. So, will there be community sprites for this? I'm not a huge fan, but maybe like 2 contests per year. There's always community sprites for OneBit Adventure. Actually, for Rogue Together, it's a lot simpler than OneBit. Believe it or not, this is more OneBit than OneBit Adventure, if you believe it or not. Okay, let me show you why. Okay, so if you look at this is all a filter, right? This is not the CRT effect is a filter. But if we were to remove the filter, which I hope that one button works, but we'll see. So there's the bloom, and then there's the CRT. This is your pixel art right now. This is Jub's pixel art. And that's so simplified, right? But the filter makes it come to life to make it more CRT. So it is certainly something that, you know, community sprites can be added towards the game, but it does, the filter side of things makes it feel more, I guess more revolutionized, to be honest. But yeah, there can be community sprites for Rogue Together. But for now, it is very much alpha. It's not even, like I said, the whole dungeon generation is not finished. Everything is still, and preparing a trailer for this game is one part that I'm very much excited about. We also have I think we have the skill tree too. We have the skill tree, which essentially is going to be different from OneBit. Similar in a sense of you're unlocking different abilities that are linked to that tree, and it'll fill up as you're upgrading that one. think Tome Net is a game that I took that inspiration from. So yeah, it's definitely work in progress. Yeah, work in progress. So roguetogether.com, sign up on the newsletter if you haven't already. If you're just waiting for the Discord announcement, uh please just at least sign up. I promise you it's only going to be a letter sent out about Kickstarter that we'll be, you know, discussing further. But that's still a few months down the road. I'm trying to get as much people excited about it, and yeah, all that fun stuff. I'm not too much crazy into promoting stuff, and I really want Rogue Together to be made. So that is one thing. If you're worried about OneBit Adventure, don't worry. We still got major updates coming out for it. So yeah. When I'm planning Rogue Together release, I want to target 2 years from now. It's more or less how much money are we gonna make off the Kickstarter. That'll determine how much I can hire or how much I can pay to get the project finished. So really depends on the Kickstarter as well as, you know, speed of production. We don't want to rush things. We don't want to say next year when we haven't even finished the story portion of Rogue Together. Yeah, so definitely. All right, so Rogue Together. Let's answer some hard questions that will be a part of it. PvP. So PvP is something that I'm 50-50 on because I love the aspect of keeping things cooperative. When it comes to PvP, that's when you get more hackers, more people wanting to take advantage. The only terms of PvP I want is a leaderboard where clans are competing. So if you're in a guild of 20 players and you have yeah, how can you turn PvP turn-based game? Yeah, you can't. It becomes real time. Yeah, there is co-op turn-based and you can take turns moving and stuff. But when it comes to attacking enemies, it's not feasible to have a fair PvP combat, you know. So definitely it is not so to speak, but it's going to be ranking based. That would be more of my general idea if we can reach that goal. So it's more, yeah, it is more like stat checking, but if you use certain abilities, it might change the outcome. You know, if you had upgraded your shield bash to the max, and yeah, and there's knockback, and you know, there can be scenarios, but it becomes real time combat. So I'll be filling your head with ideas after the Kickstarter is successful. So it's probably someone that has been DMing me, and you know, definitely, I think I have a feeling who this is. But yeah, definitely. If you have any ideas for the Kickstarter, and I mean like things that can be done, rewards, or even so to speak, anything, like feel free to let me know. I'm always on Discord. You can certainly let me know, DM me, or even publicly say, hey, I wonder if you're going to do this for Kickstarter. So with Kickstarter, there's going to be rewards that based off different tiers, and the base game being $10 is the goal. So $10 for the game. It's different. It's not free to play, but if you are on mobile, it is going to be free to play, but with ads. It's just how it is. Like mobile, I can't do premium only. So if you are concerned, you will be able to play the story mode free to play, but it's going to be with ads. But the base game, $10. So going on, some good asynchronous task and paths for progression would be appreciated, but the real multiplayer bits are very cool and important to me. Yeah, I think a big part of the progression, there's going to be a new set of equipment format. So we're not doing the same format of weapon, head, chest, and pet. I believe we're adding boots to the game and accessory to the game. So it is something that is going to be different. We're going to make this essentially a version upgraded from OneBit Adventure. But yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. You can guarantee I'm going to be putting a lot of new ideas into play. But a lot of the old ideas will come back to this game. Class synergies, it's an obvious one, but having classes that have special effects with each other would be interesting. For multiplayer, for example, Pyromancer and Chiromancer, one team, if they attack each other, the enemy takes heat shock damage from alternating heat. Ooh, okay, yes. I'll talk more about class synergy, secret features and Easter eggs. Fan of game secrets, very niche, that hard to find, but can provide a surprise for players. Yes, I am a big fan of doing secret Easter eggs, especially the pineapple pizza sacred sign. But yes, I definitely want to keep my personal secret touches from OneBit and bring it over to here. Uh, Solo balancing. From what I've seen and found out, Rogue Together's mainly focused on multiplayer. Think it would be neat if the game was neatly balanced for multiple players, but it would be still possible to beat it solo. Yes, so it will have. So the idea of multiplayer and solo is something that it really is going to have to focus once it comes to playtesting. But taking turns, figuring out what the damage values are is going to be a key part to making solo still fun, versus having to be forced to play multiplayer just to beat the game. So yeah, definitely that. So in terms of class synergy, I think who said it best? Zan said it best. Yes. Let me see if I can find his post. Yeah, he had his. Yeah, there's the diagram. Okay, it's hard to read the it's hard to read it from here. Okay. So essentially, each class will have two aspects, and those two aspects will determine what skills that class will be able to learn and how they can incorporate or synchronize with each other. So as of now, there are how many classes? 10 classes. 10 classes in the game. That's gonna be a part of it. That's the main part. And then they can work together in different ways. Some better at AoE healing. Bard, for an example, being one that will be your supporter. You can make where is the other class? There's, I believe, yeah, we're gonna make a cleric or a paladin. I believe we're calling it paladin. That's also heal but armor. But it doesn't have to just be heal. That is a supporter. So certain things are gonna. It really is not finalized, but you'll get the idea that things link together and will be able to work together in different classes. There'll be skills that support, and there'll be skills that focus solely on yourself. So that's gonna be a big part of solo and multiplayer. You know, like being a bard, playing solo, you'll still get buffs even though it's an AoE. That'll affect yourself. So, all right, let's see what chat says. I think you said between dungeons, but would the ads be in the menu or during gameplay? So I think the point for the ads will be between dungeons. There will be like in story mode, there's dungeons that it's not endless dungeon crawler. It's find the exit, and once you exit, it transitions to the next dungeon. So that in between segment is an ad spot for the free to play. So during gameplay, not so much to interrupt your game, because it's obviously game breaking if you open a chest and all of a sudden you have to watch an ad to open the chest. No, not like that. Between dungeons. So please make it roguelike and add items for cool skills and passives and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be like that. There is different things that I think the fork in the road will lend itself into this, and you're gonna see what I mean once I start updating more on the game. But for sure, there's also scrolls that are secret scrolls that are need to be identified, or you can use them to identify it, and that's a part of the original Rogue. So that's something I want to definitely do. How much does it usually cost to make a game project? So game projects are really like it's it's dependent on the person making the game project. For example, if we worked on Rogue Together solo, well, I could say the cost of the project is free if I do it myself, but I still need to pay myself. So like it's one of those things where it's like it really depends on what skill sets I need. I can't do music, so I have to hire someone to do music. And it depends. I mean, really, commissioning is the way to go as an indie developer. Having a full-time staff, that's when you can get into the hundreds of thousands if you're trying to hire full-time staff. Um, but yeah, I would say a game like OneBit Adventure has spent well over 100,000, like guaranteed over the 5 years, just to manage everything that it has in the game. It's crazy to think, but it's definitely that much. And marketing, that's just how it is, really. A big part of that is cheaper because I have to lend myself my own time and put more effort into the game. So, yeah. You want a hyper tank? You can have a hyper tank. That's just one of the things is we're gonna try more build diversity with the skill tree. So yeah. You just arrived. Freedom. Yeah, there will be multiplayer in Rogue Together. One Bit Adventure. If since you just arrived, so One Bit Adventures sequel is Rogue Together. Rogue Together is going to be the multiplayer version of One Bit Adventure. It is co-op, not PvP, but you will be able to play with friends and dungeon crawl experience. And this game is still an alpha. It's not even close to being finished, but I do need people to support the game in terms of running a Kickstarter so that way we can get this game done in a more polished fashion. I don't want to make a game that is like One Bit where it took 5 years to get to where it's at now. I want this game to get done more sooner rather than later. I don't want to spend another like 5 to 10 years making Rogue Together possible when we could do a Kickstarter, get the money that we need, and, make it possible. So go to roguetogether.com and sign up for the newsletter. That is going to be the only way I can know for sure how many people are interested in the game. So, let's go back to the forum where we're talking about Rogue Together. What are some things you would like to see in Rogue Together? So we answered class synergies. There's 10 classes in Rogue Together that's planned. Currently planned 10 classes. And they'll synchronize together. Certain abilities work with other classes. Others will work by yourself. So there's priority in that. Multiplayer healing, developed casting and group quests. Yes, group quest is something that I want to mess around with, especially because I'm focusing on the 4-player co-op, but you can still do solo. Like literally the story you can do solo. And the whole point of co-op is to bring more people together because I still get a lot of requests for multiplayer. And that's just what I want to try to do. You want fishing and milking? Hamzel! Then sign on the newsletter. Get everyone excited about Rogue Together. And I'll make that possible. It'll probably have to be a stretch goal because there's a lot. There's a lot of features that everyone wants. So it's... And 50,000 is actually going to be the base fundraiser goal. So that's half of what One Bit Adventure had for 5 years. So 50,000. That's sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm sorry. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just trying to emphasize that I do want this project to succeed. And by doing that, 50,000 is the base goal. But that's something that I want to keep open and out there. Like, we'll go make the game, me, Jub, Scotty Rich for 50,000. But if we can reach stretch goals, we can start adding more features, more development. And at the same time, set a goal, set a roadmap so that way everyone knows and is comfortable and transparent about everything. Fishing and milking? What's fishing and milking? I mean, it's just extra like Stardew Valley aspects of the game where it becomes more fun and engaging socializing. Like, imagine you are in a dungeon and there's a pond and you have a bard that, has fishing proficiency 5 and he can fish some food, but there's only a limited amount of fishes in the pond. So he fishes up 5 fresh fish because you were low on HP. So it'd be a fun dynamic to the game, but for sure is not. It's more of a stretch goal than it is a base goal. So, yeah. Offline mod. I think offline mod is safe. I don't have particularly much issues with offline, but I do have a issue with online, especially because I'm making leaderboard rankings. I want no competitive edge when it comes to modifying the game. So as long as it's offline, that's fine. When it goes to online ranking, that's where it becomes a problem. So, all right, options to have 1-bit style graphics. Yes, this is definitely something I did not show in the first trailer. Let me see if I could find the first trailer. I believe I can find the first trailer on here. Yeah, and this was a teaser trailer. So the teaser trailer. Let me make sure the sound is good for you. So this was the original trailer. So the original trailer had no 1-bit sprites. And that was kind of off-putting for some people. It's like, how is it 1-bit Adventure 2? There's no 1-bit sprites. So, yeah. It's definitely something that I wanted to change. Yeah. So, for sure, 1-bit sprites are coming into Rogue Together. So, yes, Rogue Together was not released. It's still in development in alpha, and it will release in the future if we can reach the Kickstarter fundraiser goal. Kickstarter is not live yet. The page is still being worked on, but if you sign up for the newsletter, roguetogether.com, then we'll be able to judge how much people we can have for it. So, all right, let's move on to the next question. Jeez, man, you don't want to get me started on this. I have so many ideas. DM me if you want the full speech. I'll do that after the live stream. I want to be more team focused. Each class should have strengths and weaknesses and support each other. It shouldn't just be BK tearing through everything that supports healing it. Each class should have its own niche. I think, yeah, maybe 2v2 mode. No 2v2 mode, but for sure, yes, making things more unique. There will be different. Okay, yeah. We're going into extra like extreme end, like we finished the product territory. But yeah, definitely I'll message this guy after and see what the ideas that they have. One last thing, sorry, there shouldn't be as many chests as 1-bit Adventure. Yeah, 1-bit Adventure has a lot of chests, for sure. When you find a chest in a game like Skyrim, you're excited to see what's inside. Yeah, in 1-bit Adventure, it is routine. I think I went like that because I felt like I didn't have another dynamic feature. But yes, for sure, it is going to be very unique. We'll be visiting a bunch of other games as well to make sure that we get Rogue Together be as best as possible. But yeah, more rewarding. Sounds good. I'll definitely DM this person. To answer your question, Isaiah, yeah, there will be different sized dungeons. I don't want to go too huge for story mode. Story mode is very handcrafted, but yes, there will be like, how should I describe? There's story mode, and in story mode you could do multiplayer. There will also be a custom dungeon mode where you create your dungeon experience. You want huge dungeons, you want to grind, then that's fine. You can do it like that. Or very tiny dungeons. You know, if you want a 5-minute session, you can play that and run through it. So yes, there will be more flexibility in that. But in terms of story mode, it's more handcrafted. So don't expect super huge dungeon where it's like 1,000 by 1,000 tiles in story mode. Yeah, that's something you shouldn't expect in story mode. Craft it for the experience, except for the custom dungeons. But yeah. Moving on, next question. We're almost there to the final. Whew! Look at that. Believe it or not, it's almost close to the 2-hour mark I had planned. Yeah. Woo! Okay. Hello, I'm here waiting to play again because a Reaper killed me. What's new? Well, it's just been talking about Rogue Together. If you haven't heard, Rogue Together is OneBit Adventure sequel. If you haven't, go to the website, roguetogether.com, so you can support this game, the sequel to OneBit Adventure, which will have multiplayer. So yes, Marky, do that now. Alright, next question. Going back to what would you like to see in Rogue Together? I'm not sure how multiplayer would be integrated with the roguelike aspect of OneBit Adventure, but I think it would be interesting to see diagonal inputs. Yes, there is diagonal inputs. As you can see, you can move diagonally. It's different from OneBit. We're not just going 4 directions. So that's already part of the game, even if for only attacks, as I wondered about such potential ever since the archer flying diagonal. So the one thing about archer is certainly the ability to shoot at certain directions, and that is particularly something we'll be experimenting with. So yes, that is definitely something that we'll be looking more into. But yes, omnidirectional movement. Oliver made it! What is up? The stream is still going. Yes. Let's see. Will there be any new mobs or dungeons in the sequel? Yes. I am planning for at least 100 enemies in the game. Dungeons, we have currently planned and set forth 7 unique dungeons as well as themes that are more dynamic than OneBit. So OneBit has a limited tile set. Rogue Together has a more diverse tile set. And I think I showed it off in the concept animation. Where is it? Oh no, I cut it off in the concept animation. Oh yeah. I didn't show it. Okay, so sorry. I only showed the brick one, which is the one on the top. There is another concept animation. I guess I trimmed it off from this one. But yes, there will be a lot more different dungeon types. So, unfortunately, diagonal attacks in OneBit might not work so well. Simply because you can go through I mean, you already know OneBit has like certain spots that you can just go through diagonally, and that would be a whole rework of the entire map in general. So, alright, let's move on to the next one. In-depth RPG variety of classes. Again, Rogue Together will have 10 classes. That's starting off. I will add classes to the stretch goal of Kickstarter. So, Kickstarter, 50,000 is the base for 10 classes. We'll add stretch goals to add more classes. And if you have any class ideas, feel free to go to the Discord for OneBit Adventure. Well, Discord for Galactic Slice that has a channel for RT feedback. You can give feedback about Rogue Together there. Rogue Together will be turn-based as well. It's multiplayer turn-based. If you notice right now, essentially the allies next to you, they can roam the dungeon, and they won't affect your movement until they get closer proximity-wise. It's still a little buggy. It's still alpha. Essentially, the enemies aren't supposed to move at all. Even though you see that they're moving throughout the dungeon. So, but as soon as the enemies find you, they'll be locked to you. So, pretty interesting. But yes, you kind of missed the old overworld map music. It's still there. You actually need to have Theme Mixer though. So, if you miss it, I'll let you hear it. It's in the game, but you need Theme Mixer for it. We're probably gonna hack the game to get it though. I don't know if this account has the music mixer. Sorry, music mixer. I get confused. Hold on. Do I have the audio? Oh yeah, I do have the audio. Oh, it might be too loud. Hold on. Oh yeah, the music is not playing. Ah, okay. Let me see if that's loud. Okay, that's good. All right. So if we go to music mixer, you see this right here, music mixer. You can basically switch it to be whatever you want. So this is original main menu. Let's find old overworld. There you go. Look at that. So you can relive the old days and basically enjoy it. Yeah. So no problem. I definitely love it when I hear like someone, request something that's already in the game. It makes me feel good because it's like I don't have to make it. It's in there. Let me show you how to get to it. So, yes. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Lots of customizations, probably, and as free-to-play friendly as OneBit Adventure. So, for those that don't know, Rogue Together is going to be free-to-play on mobile with ads. But to unlock all the features, you do have to buy the base game, which is going to be $10. That's the base game of everything included into it. So, that is essentially what it's going to be. Free to play as much, because I know if I do $10 for the game, it's very diminishing to say, play my game OneBit Adventure is free to play, and then play my game Rogue Together, but, spend $10, That's not something I could do on mobile. It's already cemented as free to play. But on Steam, it will not be free to play. I think the majority of Steam sales that goes on makes it so that you're better off doing a premium. So that's the goal for it. So since there will be ads, can you watch ads for diamonds but not too much? So actually, for this particular sequel, it is going to be straight premium. You don't have to spend money in order to unlock said skins or said whatever. You will have to play to unlock those things. So we're doing straight up premium game. We're going to try as premium as possible. So, yes. If Rogue Together comes out with so many features, it's going to be something you either earn or it's already in the game for you. Like, for an example, I think a big question everyone's going to automatically say is, what if I want to play Rogue Together, but I don't like the filter? It hurts my eyes. Well, because Rogue Together is a premium game, even if you had the free to play, you can go to the settings and turn off the filters. That's the benefit of doing just premium games. I do all these features, I run the Kickstarter, and anything that's in the game that's been requested and added, that is part of the game. You don't have to pay money to get those features. Any quality of life is part. I don't have to battle between what VIP feature I should add this time, So part of that is, yes, that's the reason why I want to try to go full premium. How many characters will be in Rogue Together? Currently, there's 10 classes. Stretch goals will be added, and that will determine our final class count. But 10 is the main goal right now. But yeah, definitely a lot of customization options, and it will be free to play on mobile. Steam will be $10, but unlocking the ad-free version will be $10 as the full game. So, Personally, I feel as if OneBit Adventure itself is an incredible game, while Rogue Together has incredible potential, the only thing I would like to see is that both games can be developed. Neither should be abandoned or neglected. So, the reality of this situation being, I understand where it can come off as off-putting, but again, I am promising that with this year coming up, it's going to be 6 years of OneBit Adventure. Games don't make it that long. Like, guaranteed. Look at any game you've played on your mobile device. Games don't make it that long. So this is mainly my intention is let's make the next sequel and focus on the next sequel. I will do my best to provide updates to OneBit Adventure. They're not going to be as drastic because I want Rogue Together to be a step up from OneBit Adventure. So certainly something that I don't want to say it will be abandoned. I will say it'll get a little neglect because I can't give as 100% effort without lending it to Rogue Together. So it's all dependent on this Kickstarter. And like I said, I'm really, really wanting Kickstarter to really like be successful. So much potential in both. OneBit Adventure has had 5 years, going on 6 years, and it's been a major roller coaster ride. But for sure, let's see what we can do because we can start over with Rogue Together and make it better and faster. There's just so much things. Okay. Which 10 you have settled with? I believe it's on Discord. Yeah, it's on Discord. The RT feedback. Zan created that list. If I go over, if you haven't joined, I didn't put the Discord link in the description. I should put the Discord link in the description. Yeah. That would have been smart of me. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, so it would be Paladin, not Priest. Paladin, Warrior, Blood Knight, Thief, Archer, Pyro, Wizard, Necro, Warlock, and Bard. So all classes will make a comeback. Hint, hint, all classes will make a comeback. So yeah, that is currently the situation right now. Discord link in the game. Yes, you can go to the Discord link in the game. That'll take you straight to the official Discord. Yes. How long will Kickstarter be up? So currently it's not up, but when you sign up for roguetogether.com and you sign up, I'll send an email when it does go live. I am planning at least 3 months from now to launch it. I'm waiting on more sprites from Jub before I can work on the next new trailer. That next new trailer is going to be the 1-bit video, well, the 1-bit version. It'll be a new revamped version. So this, what you're seeing right now, is a preview of the new trailer, and that's what's gonna end up being. So I gotta focus on that and then try to market more. I got 2 more conventions, Midwest Gaming Classic and Anime Central, and I'll be promoting Rogue Together's Kickstarter as well as the newsletter. So yes. Whew, yes, that's a lot. So no link to Kickstarter in 1-bit yet. There will be when it does go live, but as of now, there's none. So let's see, we're moving on to the final 2 questions. The ability to make far more builds that can work together with your friends' builds. Yes, synergy, class synergy is definitely a must. Just like even that feature with Pyromancer and Cryomancer working together to deal the, what is it, the freeze heat damage, heat freeze, or I forgot what it was called. But yeah, synergistic builds will work best. Solo play is going to be different, obviously, but will allow like multiple classes to cross over for solo. Maybe it's one of those things we'll just have to experiment and see. So next one and final one, a way to drop and trade items to your teammates. One of this is going to be a stretch goal. I know it's a big feature. Even as simple as it may be, syncing drops so that they don't duplicate is going to be a major upset if that ends up being a thing. So I don't want any exploits to happen, obviously. Um, so that is going to be a stretch goal. Trading system so you can trade with your friends without having to. Let's say you found a iron helmet, and that helmet ends up having the right stats for a warrior, but you're a wizard and your friend's a warrior. So you can trade with him just by dropping it or by interacting with your friend and trade items. So yeah, that's a feature I do want to add, but I want it to be a stretch goal for the Kickstarter. So yeah. So I pretty much drank all my water. Pretty much drank all my water. So that is it right now for the OneBit Adventure Questionnaire 2025. All responses answered and looked into. We definitely highlighted a lot of green stuff that I'm gonna be like really focused on. Fork on the Road is definitely gonna be something I want to work on, as well as a community dungeon update. We are pushing back the thief and archer second tier profession later. Most of it comes down to what I felt is necessary to focus on. Repetitive overworld is one that I need to focus on. And then we have the story update that I'm aiming for the summer. A story mode update that will revamp the whole entire NPC system and dialogue system so it's more fluent and actually working well. Training system is going to be more of a promo feature where you enter the promo code training and you end up going into that mode, so to speak. Disables achievements, all that stuff. That would be a fun thing to do as a promo. Not something that I'll add per se, but as a promo would be nice and secretive. So yeah. Alright, Pac-Man, let's see what you got. Question 4. Main game, in-theme menu. There is an option to toggle secondary colors. I don't get what it does. A tooltip. Yes, see, that's one thing about tutorials. It's what I lack. Tutorials is something I need to do more. More lore, please. Yes, that is story mode update. That will happen in the future. Yes. Why a fork? What did you miss? You missed everything, Oliver. What did you do? You changed your profile picture and now you missed everything. I'll talk to you about Fork in the Road in a bit. Okay. So the whole point of, yeah, that having more information would be nice. Especially because when you enable and disable secondary colors, you can't see what colors change. It only works well when you have monochrome, because you see monochrome and you can see the secondary colors, but it doesn't show. It would have been nice if I did potions, right? That might work better. Did a potion or whatever other items besides those dots. But yeah, for sure is something that tooltips I need to work very much hands-on to help with new player experience. Yeah, Fork in the Road is essentially a new feature that I am planning to bring more diversity into your gameplay of Overworld. So to speak, if there is a fork on the road, it would take over the expedition rewards instead. So you have a choice. It splits off. You either go left or right. And it's a direct split in the middle. Left has more enemies, so more XP. But right has less enemies, but more coins. Which path will you choose? That'll affect your run for going forward. But that's essentially what Fork on the Road is. It's giving you two options. You choose one or the other. It's common in different roguelikes, and I think OneBit needs it to make Overworld stand out more. So, so yeah, that's the Fork on the Road. Frog is the main boss. All right, Blood. I'll see you to it. You promised me, right? Frog is the main boss? No. Definitely. That is fun. That's fun. No, Froggy loves to jump in the water, so I don't know much about Frog as a boss. But there are different bosses in the game that still has not been utilized. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I could give a sneak peek. It just makes it's in there. Some people have already posted about it. Um, yeah, like look at this. There's so many different bosses that I have yet to add to the game, but it's sad. It's more or less trying to find the right space or right dungeon to add them to, and the right move set with animations, so to speak. So yeah, it definitely is something I'll look into more. All right, we're gonna be answering a couple more questions. If you have any questions about One Bit Adventure, future updates, or Rogue Together, which is the sequel to One Bit Adventure, please let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this video later on. So, going on, let's see. Training to see what professions and skills would be lit. Yeah, that's one thing I think. Oh, smarter enemies too. I think I mentioned about A-star pathfinding. Um, what happens with One Bit Adventure was I never could do A-star pathfinding without there being a delay. But you've seen Rogue Together running. All of those enemies and the AI is pathfinding the direct route to certain things. So they're pathfinding to the exit. Enemies also don't randomly move in different directions. So a bit of Rogue Together has helped solve pathfinding, you know? Like, it's kind of amazing. Like, taking a fresh take on a new game, a new project helps bring out new ideas, and A-star pathfinding was one I could not solve without Rogue Together. So yes, that I want to implement that system into One Bit Adventure, so that, like, for an example, this ghost, which clearly does not like to go the right direction, that's because they randomly go to different areas, but at the same time they don't know how to go around objects. Same with pets. Pets is another one that always gets stuck. So I want to implement A-star pathfinding, not for all enemies, but for the smart enemies. Only because some of it tends to be a good strategy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if all of them are smart, then you're not going to be able to do this, you know? You're not going to be able to maneuver because they're going to always move the same path. So there's a bit of strategy to it, but yeah, I do want to make smarter enemies in One Bit Adventure. That was a part of some minor reports. Let's see. Oh, Isaiah coins. Menu coins are your global stash for all your classic characters. So having 250,000 right now, there's the only main use is going to the shop and buying items from the merchant. There was going to be a way to use your coins to buy equipments, like random equipments, but that hasn't been thoroughly solved yet. So yeah, it would be nice to do that. It's just more or less where and when and how. So yeah, and that's one of the things that's been, like, a lot of people will have millions of coins because they don't have any other use. That's a part of me not solving the economy well. So let me see if I missed any other questions. Another quality of life suggestion from Pac-Man. Add distinguishable sounds for when applying or getting burned or poisoned or critical hit. Yeah, I guess that's a very, that is a very, like, specific one. I don't mind making sound effects. It's just my sound effects are very limited to the 8-bit, like, sound track that I have. But it is doable. I mean, I can potentially add some hit sound effects or tweak the hit sound for when you do critically hit. It's a higher pitch. Yeah, I can see that being a thing. So Man, Pac-Man, you are on a roll. Uh, adding sound effects to specific events like crit hits, burn infliction, etc. We'll do that. All right. Yeah, training. Oh yeah, training to see what professions and skills. Oh yeah, I did skimmed over that. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, that's one I am still debating on how to. I guess I could get Scotty, but it would sound different because he doesn't have the same 8-bit effects that I use. That's the only thing. So I don't want it to be too retro and different. I want it to use the same software. But yeah, like there's preview, but you can't preview exactly what that skill looks like. I was gonna do a little question mark, and if you hover over it, it'll show what that effect looks like. Yeah, that is an idea, but we'll see if that ends up being something in the future. It really is a lot more manual. Excuse me, manual work for that. So, yeah. Yeah, there are new bosses, but they have been sitting in the color palette. All right, go back to work, Ariel. Have fun. But yeah, let's see. Going on, to what extent do you plan to have synergy between classes and Rogue together? Most, oh, you retracted that message. Okay. Okay, you can retract. Oh, you okay. Just read it. I just read it, Oliver. Yes. That's the one thing. The two aspects. So you can choose between two aspects, and that will determine your class. That is your class, so to speak. You choose a warrior class. You get the armor and health trees. So there's skill trees, and that's how you can use skills between I want to say between. I want to say the skill sets. So more synergistic skills are on one path, more solo skills are on another path. And at some point, you can learn skills throughout your adventure, and that gets added to your skill tree. So it is more or less your base skills and then your discovery skills. And that's how you build your class, really. So it's not set in stone. So keep that in mind, because I could say all of this and things will change in the future. So, let's see. I guess Isaiah, I think using coins for diamonds for skins would be cool. I I don't mind certain skins being utilized as that. I think it's more or less trying to figure out the right proportion. Because diamonds still have to retain extra value. That's 100,000 coins for one diamond? Are you really doing diamond conversion? You really want to do that diamond conversion? Get Scotty to make sound effects. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I answered. Yeah. Okay. Alright, let's see. Okay. Has roles been sorted out for each Rogue Together boss? No. It has not been sorted out yet. As of now, Eternal Wraith is the main boss for Rogue Together. It's not anything else set in stone. Even the concept image with that one boss is still a concept image. Yeah. You missed the stream. Yes, Mouse. Dreer Mouse. You almost missed the stream. You are missed the stream. It's already like towards the end of the stream. We talked about everything we needed to talk about with the OneBit Adventure questionnaire, where we went through all the good and bad about OneBit Adventure, as well as talking about Rogue Together, which everyone, roguetogether.com, you are going to be spreading the news. That is the sequel to OneBit Adventure, where you can play with your friends up to 4-player co-op or solo. So, definitely, the Kickstarter is not live yet, but you can sign up for the newsletter. Let's see. I do have a profession idea for a far future, but I don't know how many each class was planned to have. Uh, for OneBit Adventure, I don't know. I think tier 2 is already like a lot, and doing a tier 3 is like gonna be overboard. If I had all the money in the world right now, I would do that, but unfortunately, that's why I'm working on a second game, so I can, try to get to the next level of making a game company. But that is something that we'll be trying to do is thief and archer second tier professions somewhere later down the road. Don't forget to update your spreadsheet with tooltips and alphabetical. Oh yes, let me add that. Add more tool tips. I'm just to the game. just in general, the whole game needs a bunch of tooltips. And then A to Z for guide in game. Okay, so those for sure will have to be part. Let's see. Part of those two needs to be very much priority. So yes, let's get Rogue Together hyped. Okay, let me see what you got. Mouse says, I've actually really been loving the old DCSS classes and races. Feels like if you can add some decent lore and unique mechanics for a race, it almost makes you want to try all of them. Yeah, I think a part of Rogue Together is there is going to be a base story for each class, and lore definitely needs to be a part of it so you feel more relatable to like the warrior and his past. So that's something that's not in OneBit Adventure. There's supposed to be a mystery, but in Rogue Together I do want to give more backstory. The main story, for spoilers for everyone that doesn't know, OneBit Adventure is a story based off Shintaro and the Eternal. Well, I said it before. Eternal Wraith, Levatus, and Silver the Cat. But it's primarily going into Rogue Together. It's more towards Shintaro and believing that he is the prophet to end the Eternal Wraith's life and not you. So he is a prophet, you are not. He's going to stop the Eternal Wraith, but you can join along with him. But that is the story. But it is said to believe that he is the prophet and not you. So a different approach to it. We always get a lot of games where you, the player, are the prophet, but this time Shintaro is. And how do you feel about that? You feel good or bad? I don't know. Your destiny awaits. So that's a bit of the main story for it. Let's see. Oh, the classes sorted out for each Rogue Together boss. Well, the 10 classes have been sorted, but not the bosses. Yeah. Okay, will there be a new tier weapons in the next update? I think the community dungeon might have added something. I'm not too sure. I'm going based off the community dungeon update that they have planned. This is on Discord, and we'll see what I end up finding in terms of ideas that they have, as well as the features. So, yeah, you don't want to betray the prophet. Actually, it's choice based too. So, will you decide to let the prophet take over and kill the Eternal Wraith, or will you step in and be the prophet that you were not meant to be? That is the story of Rogue Together. So, yes, it is going to be fun. Let's see. Does Rogue Together have hit sparks? I keep wondering if roguelikes even need them. To be honest, it does seem intuitive. Hit sparks? Wait, what do you mean by hit sparks? Like, Yeah, I'm a little confused on hit sparks. So if you pump a lot of money into OneBit Adventure, we can get tier 3 professions. I mean, if it think of it like this: if OneBit Adventure was already making millions of dollars, you would have been had tier 3 professions. But at this time, it doesn't. So yeah, I mean, it's. I'm not gonna say we need $1 million and I'll cancel Rogue Together to make OneBit Adventure tier 3 professions. I'm saying the opportunities has more leverage when it comes to that. When it comes to having a Kickstarter, I can justify how much money the game will make because that's the investment that people are willing to put in a game. So, yeah. Let's see. You guys have a lot of questions. I'm glad you guys are sticking around because the more you stick around and talk and give questions, the more I'll answer your questions. So, definitely I appreciate you guys being here today and hoping you have a lovely, lovely day. So, let's see. You love being the sidekick. Definitely, Kaphar. You are an amazing sidekick, and Shintaro will definitely love you for that. So, Pac-Man, you just recently found out about the game. I love how simple and jet deep it is. Fair monetization, all success, and keeping on roguing. Can't wait for future updates. Absolutely love the game. Best of luck. Thank you, Pac-Man. I appreciate it, and thank you for the suggestions. Look forward to adding a lot of your suggestions since you have been giving quite the amount. So, yeah. Hamzel, will there be a frog boss? Please go ask Blood. Blood will make a frog boss if you give him enough love. I definitely don't mind commissioning him. He's been doing a lot of great fun work in the community Discord. Let's see. Okay, Oliver, you have fun. You know, your decisions in Rogue Together, that's on you, okay? That's on you. If you want to be homies with Shintaro, that's on you, okay? We'll see who is the true prophet. That is the question. Gata, hey, I'm from Brazil. I really like your game. I have anxiety and I play to distract myself. Count on me for everything. Take care. Keep up the good work. Kisses. I use Google Translate. I love you too. Thank you. I definitely appreciate it when the game does provide the relief, comfort, and excitement, and just, you know, keeping you less stressed in the world where a lot of things can cause a lot of stress. Definitely love that. Oh, like flashes on attacks. Yeah. Oh, hit sparks. So you met. Oh, yeah. So for sure, I don't like going too crazy. Like, I hate when like games have like a super screen shake when you're dealing damage. So as of now, there's what is the animation when you get hit. There's a slash, and also the sprite will flicker red. So there is that. I haven't programmed for the players hit on the enemies yet because they're letters, and that was like a switch between ASCII and sprites. So there's two different sides to Rogue Together. You have the ASCII world and you have the 1-bit world. And the world corrupts. It starts 1-bit, it corrupts to ASCII version, but you can still play as the 1-bit sprites. That's optional. So like story-wise, they switch together. The world's getting more corrupted the more inside you get inside the internal wraith, and therefore start turning into like the rogue sprites, the rogue ASCII. So yeah. But yes, definitely. That is the hit effect. Visual cling and bonks. Yes, there will be sound effects like that too. Yes. Scotty Rich is doing most of the sound. I think he's going to be doing a lot of the sound effects in the game. It definitely will be a first. He hasn't done sound effects for 1-bit because I've been doing my own sound effects for 1-bit. There goes my dog. He could be a sound effect. I guess he could be a sound effect, right? Yoshi is getting old. If you guys don't know, Yoshi is being close to 10 years old. The dog is a hopper too, so maybe I should add him into the game. Yeah, he's definitely hitting his age. But yeah, If you take some magic items and make them have new powers or abilities like sigils, could it work? I think you're referencing to like Path of Exile style. Uh, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I mean, OneBit has its own like ruin set. It doesn't have any combining, but I do plan on experimenting with stuff like that. Blood, yes. You have the frog boss done already? Jeez. Unless you did it beforehand, and that's why you were telling me. We'll add a frog boss to the community dungeon. I think it's fitting that he's in the Enchanted Forest. And we'll talk more in the DM about commissions, but I might need a break after the stream because my throat is a little dried. Oh yeah. Do you have any plans on making enemies more challenging? Yes. If you don't know right now, Rogue Together is the sequel to OneBit Adventure. I have to keep mentioning it just in case someone new pops in. So don't mind if I just sound like I'm repeating myself over and over. So these enemies right now are smart, right? They know exactly which tile to go to, and they don't stray away from that. OneBit Adventure, on the other hand, the enemies just move randomly. They don't move, and even if they have 100% aggression, like for an example, if let's hide this UI real quick. If we take this enemy and we tell this enemy, hey, we want you to be 100% aggressive, right? Because right now it's 60%. And let's get your aggro range all the way. So now this guy is super, super smart, but not in a smart way. So he knows, oh, I'm going to go to the player, but I'm stuck now. I don't know exactly where to go. A-star pathfinding is what he needs. I was able to do A-star pathfinding for this game because it was a new project. But when I tried to do it for this game, I failed, but now I know what to do in order to make it smart. It's more so that he does a calculation to basically go around the tree. So A-star pathfinding will move his sprite and be like, oh, I can go through here. So then his next set is there. So definitely expect smarter enemies, but not all the enemies are going to be so smart. Like, it's still like having a bit of randomness so that you're not stuck like this all the time, you know? That's kind of boring, because if you're in a situation where you're trying to do a hit list run, you'll be stuck like that if they're too smart. So, a bit of randomness, but a little bit more smarter enemies will be what I'll work on. Expect that coming as an update, for sure. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Yes, make Yoshi a sound effect for like a wolf enemy. Yes, he will definitely be a sound effect. Yes, we'll do it. Oh yeah, I might have missed it, but are you planning, not confirmed, to release the community dungeon? Yes, Isaiah. That is going to be the next major update, community dungeon. I am going to be working on that. It's going to take my time with it, okay? It's something I want to carefully address. And if you're in Discord right now, in the live stream chat, you can see Blood has posted some sprites for that frog boss. And it looks pretty amazing. I love it. Oh my goodness. Most of the sprites are tiles too, and that definitely helps. Yes. Even the bridge is cute. Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm getting too excited. So, Community Dungeon is going to be the next major update, and that's going to be what I'm focusing on next. So, alright. So, yes, in OneBit Adventure, the enemy is sometimes hard to hit at long range as Archer because they move too randomly. Yes, I agree. And smarter enemies will help make them predictable. Especially if they're highly aggressive, like goblins, for an example. Goblins prioritize coins, but if they see you, they'll leap more towards you, but they're not A-star aggressive. So, look forward to that. That's definitely something I am planning. So yeah, I think we're about 2.5 hours in. That is it for today's live stream. I think everyone has a good idea of what the roadmap is for OneBit Adventure and as well as Rogue Together. And I cannot stress enough, RogueTogether.com. Spread the news, let people know, let people get excited for the newsletter. I plan on working on a new trailer for the new visuals of Rogue Together, which is this. That is going to be something I am going to work on as soon as I get the right sprites from Jub. Jub, another, again, amazing artist who's going to be working on this. And the Kickstarter is to help fund Jub, Scotty Rich, promoting the game, and getting any extra things for the game. That is the whole point of the Kickstarter. So, Kickstarter's not out yet, but if you go to RogueTogether.com and sign up on the newsletter, you will help reassure me that we will get an successful Kickstarter. So, with Archer, wouldn't you need some knockback because it would just keep getting closer? There is knockback with Rounded Shot. I'm not saying all enemies are going to be leaping at you really closely. But they're step by step. You know, it's one of those things where you kind of will get used to their aggression. So if they're 50% aggression, 50% of the time, they're going to go to your tile. So. Oh yeah, summarized version of the roadmap would be nice, actually. I think I'll make a video. I actually have one video planned. But I gotta make another video on that. That is a good idea. I'll make a video for a roadmap for YouTube. In terms of summary, I might make a blog post about that. So, if it has pathfinding, they will just keep getting closer. But it's certain enemies, not all enemies. So you'll start learning which enemies are hyper aggressive. Otherwise, we can leave it as randomized and make it so that certain forks on the road have smart enemies. That could be potentially what might solve it. Yeah. We'll see. We'll experiment. And trust me, I'm not going to release it without experimenting in open beta. So if you are on Discord, you'll be able to test it out. So, yeah. Definitely. Oh, man. Definitely amazing. In Rogue Together, you could probably send a tank ahead to engage the enemy, and the archer can stand back from afar and fire away. Yes, that is definitely the whole goal of being able to synergize between class and attack one enemy. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you thinking announcements? Yes. I'll definitely do that. Just to let everyone know that Community Dungeon is coming up. Just little small bullet points of what to expect. So yeah, I'll do that as well as link a video to this live stream, the cropped version. So yeah. All right. So that's about it. I have to go get some water and enjoy my time relaxing before getting to work on a Community Dungeon. I want to thank all you guys for joining the live stream event. It was very productive. We got a lot of stuff that will be coming to OneBit Adventure, as well as a Community Dungeon. Thief and Archer Profession is pushed back, but you can rest assured that we have a lot of stuff, great stuff coming in, especially the Fork in the Road and Frog Boss, which we definitely need now that I've seen the sprites and am truly happy for that. I want to thank you guys for being a part of the community, and thank you so much. Let's try to see how far we can go with OneBit Adventure this year in terms of getting rid of repetitive overworld. Yes, it is the end of the live stream. I'm sorry. We'll try to do more live streams in the future, but definitely it takes a lot of effort. But I want to thank you all for coming in and, sharing your ideas, letting me know what I need to do, and basically get this game to the next level. Hopefully you guys join me on my adventure with Rogue Together, as that is the sequel to OneBit Adventure, and that is going to be at RogueTogether.com, setting up the newsletter, trying to get 3 months before Kickstarter comes out, and that is going to be epic. $50,000 is the goal, and I want to get as much people on board as possible, so that way I can rest assured that we will get started on this project this year. But for sure, don't feel like I'm abandoning One Bit Adventure. I've already done over 5 years of One Bit Adventure. Yes, I'll actually. You want me to release the spreadsheet of this? I will certainly do so. Um, that's something I could definitely do. I'll post in an announcement. So definitely thank you guys for watching and enjoying and joining the stream. I will catch you guys on the next adventure. Peace. Stay safe. Happy gaming. Um and yeah, that's pretty much it. So and I'll tell Yoshi that chat said hi. So definitely. Thank you.